Hello, this message is for real estate agents. I I was just wondering how real estate agents and businesses in general learn from other industries. As an example, I've been having some issues with my car and getting my car serviced recently. And I've been going to this mechanic now. My family has been going to this mechanic shop for over 30 years because we believe that Frank is the most honest mechanic that we've ever met. He's honest. He never rips anyone off, um, and he always tries to save me money. Now, that is not to say that he is the most efficient mechanic, because he doesn't use online software. I can't register my car into be fixed or oil changes or anything like that. He's very old thinking. He's very old technology. He's very old world. He's all about the handshake. He's all about getting to know people, and he knows everybody's names. He's been around forever, and he has a very, very loyal clientele. But that's not the problem. The problem is you still need to adapt, right? So I was in we run a CEO club, um, and we were discussing this problem because we love discussing case studies, and we were discussing how can we bring Frank, and even though I've had a number of, or tried to have a number of lunches with him to try and bring him to the 21st century, he resists. He is not going to change. Then when he brought his son in to help him with the business, I thought, okay, finally, a young man knows about technology, and finally we're going to get this company into the 21st century, and I'm going to be able to register my car, and they can track all my repairs, and I don't, and it's going to be on autopilot. I don't have to do anything, right? And no, that didn't happen either. The son is basically a copy of dad and is not very social media friendly, doesn't understand software, and is really the hands-on guy. Okay, so we were discussing this case study at an event, an online event for the CEO Club. And then I started asking around, what can we learn? Or from your industry, what can you learn from this, right? And um, and people had a hard time translating that into their own industry. So I asked a real estate agent, what can you learn from this case study, and how does this apply to your business, right? And again, he had the deer in the headlights look, and he didn't understand what I was talking about, because this is what we call creating the need, or being client centric. It's really looking at your business from a client's perspective, not your own perspective. Because if Frank had done that, 10 years ago, when I asked him to, go to lunch with me so we can talk about some of the programs he can use for his business to help with scheduling and inventory and the employee management, and getting the most out of return from the investment he's putting in labor, his company would have been night and day different. I was also going to talk to him about turning his company into a 24-hour operation. And that's where I really lost him, because he asked me, well, Leo, I'm really busy. What's this lunch about? And unfortunately, I was not prepared. I didn't tell him that he could be running his business more efficiently. I just told them, how, I believe your business should be a 24-hour operation, because when is the best time to repair vehicles? When the client needs them during the day, or at night when everybody's sleeping? And he goes, Leo, you don't understand my business. I'm already working 14-hour days, and now you want me to work 24-hour days? Are you crazy? No, that's not going to work for me. That's not what I want. And he told me my son's going to take over, and that will give me a chance to travel the world and do what I need to do. And here we are 10 years later. His son is in the business. He has more family members in the business, and he's putting in just as many hours as he did 10 years ago. Okay, so how does this apply to a real estate agent? I find that most real estate agents don't see themselves as a business, even though when I asked, are you a business or are you a real estate agent that happens to use real estate as a product? And of course, they think they, they want to hear, or I want to hear that they're a business. And I said, well, no, I'm a business. Well, the next follow-up question is, how are you a business? How are you using the business tools in your business? Yes, if you're part of a team, you're acting more as a business. But even the highest producing teams don't use business tools. They don't have a business blueprint. They don't have an aggressive marketing system. They don't have a system to create the need for the product and service. So really, that's what we're talking about, is creating the need, right? And all the real estate agents that I see on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are pushing their product. You know, here's a house that I sold last month or this week. You know, how wonderful is that? But you have to understand the consumer is extremely intelligent these days, extremely intelligent. And anything you talk about, even if you say I have wonderful clients, they see through that bullshit. You're trying to sell them, right? So if that's your approach, if you're not getting at least, you know, 5, 10, 20 million in sales from LinkedIn, then you're not using business tools. So real estate, if you truly approach it as a business, real estate is a very profitable industry. Um, I made my first million before I was 25 by flipping real estate. A lot of people ask me, why don't you become an agent? And I said, why would I want to do that? It's a horrible lifestyle, but it's not a horrible lifestyle if you have a team behind you. You should have at least 5 other agents or 10 other agents working on the same team, and together, because of synergy, you all benefit, right? Then that way you all share, you all can take holidays, you can always have quality of life, and you can have a much better income if you start using better strategies, if you start using business tools. Again, it's a great industry, when you start using that. There are so many different programs that you can use. There are so many different programs that you can use to create the need. There are so many different ways that you can meet hundreds, if not thousands, of potential clients if you use the strategies. Now, think about it. If you're not using strategies, if you're not a member, an inner circle member of a CEO club or a mastermind group, or if you don't have anyone advising you directly, then you're not getting a return. You're probably one of the 60,000 real estate agents in the Toronto area, as an example, who make less than $30,000 a year. So if you want to go from under 30,000 to making, 500,000 or 300 or whatever it is, you got to start using the tools, and you certainly have to start using social media. Um, if you would like some help or advice, if you want to talk strategies, I mean, as an example, we have a mortgage broker that does over $200 million from the connections we helped them acquire on LinkedIn alone. So think about that. I mean, how many houses is that? So I would love to hear your comments, questions below, and we'll talk soon. Take care.